Hey my babies, it's Auntie Trice with another video for you. Go ahead and follow me on all social media platforms. They're going to be listed in the description box up underneath this here video. Click the like button on your way in here, my babies. That's a quick and free way to support the channel and to push Auntie through the algorithm. I so greatly appreciate it. And don't be afraid to subscribe to Auntie's channel today because you know you're coming back. I know you're coming back. So go ahead and do it. I got my handy dandy phone and it's time for us to get into the tea for today. Well, Denzel Washington has been making his rounds, my babies, and he has been sitting down talking to interviewers in lieu of his new movie, Gladiator 2. Denzel Washington has been getting candid with the interviewers and speaking a little bit more on his faith and his purpose in life. Let's look at this clip, and then I'm going to come back with the rest of my commentary.
It's not lost on me that at 22, this young man who was a sanitation worker is now living and breathing this life. Is this the life you dreamed you would be living?
I wasn't put on this earth to act. I was put on this earth to share and to be an example of the power and wisdom and grace and mercy of God in my life. If anything, if I can be an example, I was sitting on a yacht listening to a song called The Face of God. And nobody was up. I was in my prayer, meditation, reading my Bible. And I'm like, Lord, everybody can see your face. I want to see it. While I said it, when I said, I want to see your face, I heard, look to your left. So I looked to my left and I looked and I picked up my phone and I went, shh. And this is what I saw.
Oh my God.
So my life is not the movies I make.
Oh my God.
That's what I've been put here to do, or that's proof of the source of what I've been given to do on this earth. And it's not acting. I've been blessed. I've been disciplined. I've been checked. I've been protected. I've been directed. And I appreciate every day that I wake up. And I will give thanks to the Lord every day for the rest of my days. And I look forward to where I'm not even looking forward. Got you a little bit? Good.
Got me.
Good. The youngsters are taking over, and I'm just like, that's what your mama's saying. Right?
Absolutely.
That's what she's saying, ain't she?
You're absolutely right.
Yeah. It's powerful. And it's real.
And it's real.
All right. Now, I want you to send it to yourself.
Okay, y'all, hit that like button. You heard what Mr. Denzel Washington, or Denzel, Mr. Denzel Washington said. Y'all heard what he said, y'all. And I, for one, believe him. He has faith in himself, and he has also realized that he has a greater purpose in life than just acting. He has realized his purpose. Now, this is a man that is sure in himself, confident in himself, and realizes the purpose and the value in himself. When you realize the purpose and the value in yourself, when you have that true confidence in yourself, when you have morals, values about yourself, that's when y'all start looking and talking like Mr. Denzel Washington. That's when you start to elevate into the grown man, grown woman phase of your life. Okay? That's when you are comfortable, baby, and you are free. You hear me? That man is free and comfortable in his life, in his will, in his purpose. He knows himself. That's what it truly means to know yourself. It's a beautiful thing, ain't it? It's a beautiful thing. And in the Bible it says, seek and ye shall find, ask and you gon' get the answer, period. And that's not how it really go. I'm just paraphrasing, but the Bible do tell you, seek and you shall find, knock and the door shall be opened unto you. But it also say, ask the questions. And apparently this man been asking some questions. Ask the questions. The answer will come to you. Denzel Washington asked the question. He said, God, I just want to see your face. Everybody else has seen you. I want to see you. And he told Denzel Washington to look left. And Denzel Washington snapped a picture. And it even had the interviewer crying. Let's actually get to the picture that Denzel Washington snapped. Let's see what he snapped. And when I tell you I got teary-eyed when I looked at this photo, because I was like, God is real. There is none like him. And I will continue to serve the Lord for the rest of my days. I will continue to serve the Lord for the rest of my days. So, Mr. Denzel Washington, when that actually happened to you in the moment that it happened to you, because you said you was on a yacht, so you probably was out there in the front by yourself, out on the deck by yourself, laying out, just decided to talk and be open and be willing to see. And because you were open, you allowed yourself to be vulnerable and be open. God spoke to you, bro. He spoke to you and told you to look at me. And you looked at him. Ain't that something? Oh my God, I'm about to cry. Lord, I'm about to cry. But that's awesome. That really just moved me. The way he speak, he could have been a motivational speaker or a pastor himself. I'm being serious. The way Denzel speak, he could have been a motivational speaker or a pastor himself. But I'm glad that he chose what he chose, and he chose the path that he needed to choose because it was already ordained and set for him to choose that path. I'm just going to be honest. I would just like to say before we move on off of this topic, though, that Auntie is not trying to convert anybody into Christianity or into any other religion. You believe in the God that you believe in. You believe in your way of living. I believe in what I believe in, and I believe in my way of living, okay? So I'm not trying to convert nobody to nothing. I'm just telling you that I resonated with this man because he spoke in something that I believe in, period. Okay, I believe in God. I love God. You don't love God? What's wrong with you? Let's move on, my babies. Okay, y'all. Next on the docket, we got to talk about social media influencer Ashley Grayson, who has been sentenced to 10 years in prison for a murder for hire plot where she offered a couple $60,000 to take her ops out. So let's hop into this story. This all started back in 2021 when Ashley, who was previously a business influencer before she became a criminal, was accused of being a scammer by her TikTok followers. Sherelle Hodge had called Ashley out on TikTok for running off with her coins after Sherelle claimed she invested in Ashley's business classes but never saw any return. Ashley was also in an internet feud with another business influencer who had called Ashley out for her unique practices. This infuriated Ashley, so in 2022 she took matters into her own hands and asked a friend from Memphis to meet her in Dallas so they could talk business. When the friend and her husband arrived, Ashley asked them to carry out a hit on Hodge, the other influencer, and Ashley's ex-boyfriend. If they got the job done, she would give them $20,000 for each person. She even told them if they got to Hodge immediately, she'd throw in an extra $5,000. The couple agreed, but instead of carrying out the murder, they went to the police. The couple then sent Grayson a video of police lights insinuating they attempted a hit on Hodge, but it didn't work, which prompted Grayson to send them $10,000 for the effort. With all this evidence, Grayson and her husband were arrested on RICO and murder charges. The husband was acquitted on any charges, but Grayson was found guilty and sentenced to a decade in the slammer with no possibility of parole. This was a 21st century crime where online feuds and senseless rivalries bled into the real world. The defendant tried to hire someone to murder a woman over things that happened exclusively on the internet, acting U.S. Attorney Fondren said. So if you are not familiar with this story, let's have a quick recap on it, okay? Because I don't think I reported on this story. I don't think I was on YouTube around the time when this actually transpired. But Ashley Grayson is from Baltimore. So shortly after marrying her first husband, Paul Massengill, Ashley moved to Dallas, got a job at the post office. When they decided to buy a house together, Ashley says her credit wasn't up to par. And that's what led her to start her credit repair journey. Let's let Ashley tell you, and then I'm going to come back with the rest of my commentary.
My journey started a couple of years ago with my businesses, moving to Dallas and trying to buy a home. And so I didn't know that Texas is a community property state where they go by both spouses' credit scores and everything. So it was time for us to start the process of buying a home, and my credit score didn't cut it, basically, long story short, and we had to repair my credit score so that we can get approved for the home. And so I started repairing my credit, post my results on Facebook, not looking to start a business. I was just happy I had good credit because I was born with bad credit. And so
Right here.
and so I just post my credit scores, and everybody just like blew up my inbox, and it was just crazy. And I was like, no, I don't do this for work. I'm just showing you what my scores are. And from there on, it just birthed AM/PM Credit Repair, my first company where I started helping other people do the same thing that I did for myself.
All right, you heard Miss Ashley, and the first red flag that I got from this conversation was the fact that this woman does not have a degree in business. She does not have a degree in finance. This woman just literally stumbled upon doing this herself, and then she decided to make a business out of it and charge y'all to learn stuff that you could have done yourself. You understand what I'm telling you? That's my first red flag. I would have never bought into this.
And how did you develop AM/PM Academy? Is that where you're teaching others
Yes.
how to, or will they have to, or are these people that want to be in the credit industry or just personally fix their credit?
So these are people who want to get into the credit industry.
Okay.
So a lot of people have followed my journey with my business and how I've been helping so many people get houses and get cars. And they're like, I want to start my own business. And for a while I was like, no, I don't teach people how to start businesses. The same thing I said about the credit repair. Here I was again saying, no, I don't do that. 5 months after starting the first business, I started the second one, which was my academy, teaching people how to be in compliance and how to start their own credit repair company in whatever state they live in. So they're also helping people get into houses, get into cars. They're firing their bosses, and just experiencing like the high that you get from just helping people, especially single moms, get into houses.
Yes.
And
It helps. So I was
Yeah.
telling Miss Bordner about your Facebook and how you
My
just
shenanigans.
randomly pick so many people every week, and you're just helping. I love your heart.
Speaking of helping the single mothers get into houses, Ashley specifically targeted single mothers because y'all was actually running her bag up. Y'all were the reason why she was in business the way that she was, because she was selling this rags to riches story to y'all. And you single mothers band together and you got this girl rich. Let me show y'all a video where she says she actually specifically markets to single mothers and feeds them this story to get their money. Listen to this.
Like I said, you finding out what their weaknesses is a great way for you to have a unique selling proposition where this makes you stick out and stand out from the crowd. Another thing that I do is receipts. A lot of people don't do that, right? Post their students' receipts consistently the way that I do and then tag their students. Sometimes you'll see them posting their students' receipts, but you don't know where this receipt came from. For all you know, they might got another email address where they emailed themselves their own receipt, right? They might got another Facebook page where they messaged themselves their own receipt to make it seem like they came from somebody else. Not saying that people are doing that. I'm just saying you just never know. I don't trust it.
so I try to target specific people when I make posts. So I would talk about maybe a single mom who was living in a 1-bedroom apartment and she signed up for my company, and now she's in a 2-3 bedroom home, and now all of her kids have their own bedroom. Single moms who are in a tight situation where them and their children are in a small apartment, maybe a 1-bedroom, that's going to attract them and get their attention because that's their specific situation. So I market by doing a lot of storytelling just to tap into people's emotions.
Like, she real life was telling y'all what she was doing and y'all still chose to follow her. Like, she real life told y'all she was targeting single mothers, women who literally are making it work with what they got, making $1 out of 15 cents, trying to feed them and the kids, trying to feed themselves and the kids. So she really targeted these people, hit a soft spot inside of them to make them give to her. And then she really wasn't producing results like that in real time. She actually was buying them things and giving them things. Did you not hear in the interview where she was sitting up with the two ladies, where they said on her Facebook page where she was gifting houses, she's gifting cars and stuff like that to single mothers. And the reason why she was doing that, so that more single mothers could buy into her program. Let's look at this.
And she knew, like, by her choosing my mama to get the house, her getting on the video saying, you know, I offered Olivia this and she was signing down, and I bought her mama a house because she supported me and shared my videos and liked and woo and shared my posts and supported my business. She knew by her saying it was gonna make more people want to support her. It's like, ooh, you bought her this, you bought her mama a house because she supported you. I want to support you, and I want to see if I'm gonna get a motherfucking house. None of that was genuine. It's the fact that she let people know that, like, I will buy you this if you share this. I will buy you this. Like, it was, I don't, this all this was just fraud. Like, I didn't know until I got. You know what I'm saying?
And let me tell you another thing that Ashley was doing that I didn't really appreciate. These scammers be scamming out here, ladies and gentlemen, especially you single mothers, you single ladies out here that's just looking for a break. These scammers be getting y'all the most. And I feel sorry for you, but you need to know that you need to reel in your emotions, control your emotions, control yourself, and start making better decisions. Get a clear-headed view of things. You understand what I'm saying? Don't just do things off of impulse or because you feel like this is the right move for you. You really don't need to be taking no kind of risks when you got a child involved. You understand what I'm saying? When you got children involved. Don't be taking no type of money risks, credit repair risks, all that stuff. They get y'all. They get you so bad. One thing that she was doing when she was picking these women and telling these women, oh, I'm buying you a house, I'm gifting you a house because you shared this post, you did this and you did the third. She literally was leaving her name on the deed after she bought the house. That was the catch. She left her name on the deed. So at any time if she needed to sell that house or she needed to snatch that house from up under you, she could, because her name was on the deed. You could not get your name on the deed. If you tried to get your name on the deed or you were trying to snatch the deed from her, she would try to threaten you with reporting your name to the credit bureau and hiking your credit up, getting your credit even worse in the slumps than when you actually first started in her program. That's what happened to Olivia. That's what happened to Olivia and her family. When they discovered that Ashley's name was on the deed, she actually threatened to ruin their credit. And that's jacked up, because if anything happens to her and her name is on the house and she has not passed it on to the family, then what's going to happen with the house? Y'all know what's going to happen with the house. They going to have to go through buying the actual house from the city, because Ashley literally ain't got no beneficiaries over the house except for her. So that's crazy. It's a lot that would have had to happen if Ashley would have died and not gave them the deed to the house. I don't even know if they do have the deed to the house. You know, our ears are still out on that, and I'll give you an update to let you know if they do. But we don't even know if their name is on the deed of the house yet, or is it still Ashley? And Ashley has now been sentenced to 10 years imprisonment. And before we move on from this point in the story, I also want y'all to keep in mind that Olivia is the person that she actually hired to do these murders. Olivia is the person she hired to do these murders, and Olivia's mom was the person that she chose to give this house to, knowing that she wasn't really trying to give the house to Olivia's mom. So I see why Olivia really went to the police and turned Ashley in, because she felt duped on both ends. Not only are you trying to get me messed up in this crime that you trying to commit, but you bought a house from my mom and wouldn't even give my mom the house. You put it in your name instead of hers. So yeah, Olivia was side-eyeing Ashley, as she very well needed to, because we don't know if, you know what I'm saying, Olivia and her boyfriend or her husband, whatever he is this week, whatever they decided to do, if they would have really decided to kill these people for Ashley and collect the money, and then they go to jail, or, well, not even jail, prison for this crime, because that's what was going to happen. Ashley was going to act like she didn't even know them and she didn't have no dealings with them. That's how she was going to act the whole entire time. So they were going to suffer the consequences. of it all. And Ashley wouldn't even go put a penny on their commissary probably. You understand what I'm saying? So yeah, go ahead and get off the streets before she would have tried to get you off the streets, Olivia. Yes. Now let's keep going further into this story because it gets messier. It really do.
I guess I'll start with me being evicted. I'll start there. That was 2013. There's a lot that led up to that, but I'm going to give you the short story. My husband and I, we had just gotten married in August 2013. And I tell this story all the time to people is that, you know, when we met, I didn't have a car, I didn't have a job, I didn't have any money. I had all of these things. I even had a criminal record when we met. So I had like everything. I had like 100 strikes. And I was behind on my bills, and I didn't want to tell him because I'm like, I done told him all of these other things. That's going to be the straw that break the camel's back. So I said, I can't tell him. And so we ended up getting married a month after we met. Wow. And he still didn't know that I was behind on my bills because I'm like, that's not why I'm getting married, but if I tell him, he's going to think that's why I married him so he can help me with my bills or something. So even after we got married, I still didn't want to tell him, I'm like, I can figure this out. I can figure it out until one day I got the call that my stuff was being set outside. And I had to call him, and that phone call was so embarrassing because he had no idea. And he had never gotten evicted before. I had never gotten evicted before. So it was our first as a couple, us going through an eviction together. And I remember calling him. He worked an hour away, telling him, you have to leave and come home because our couch, you're safe, everything is like outside on the grass.
And this right here was another red flag for me. Miss Ashley literally admitted to the world that she did not tell her husband, whom she married a month after meeting him, she did not tell him that she was facing an eviction and she was far behind on her bills. She didn't tell him that because she didn't want him to feel some type of way about, you know, them getting married and her being behind on bills. Even though he was the one that was moving into her shit, she was not moving into his, okay? And based off what she just said, no offense, I'm just gonna say this, based off what she just said, you knew better than to trust her then. This woman bold-faced lied to her husband. What made you think she wasn't gonna lie to y'all? Okay, then on top of that, she had a criminal record, which she actually admitted to y'all. This is what I'm telling y'all. She bold-faced sat up here and admitted to the world that she has a criminal record, that she has lied to her husband, that she does not know what she's doing in this business, that she did it herself, that she made all of this up herself. She admitted this, but y'all still fell for the okie doke. How? She's admitting this to y'all and telling y'all this. So how are y'all falling for this?
So when I started my business, my record had been clean for about 1.5 years at that point. But years back, I sold drugs when I was 19. So I had a criminal record because of that. And I know a lot of people who have criminal records or had them, if they weren't able to get them expunged, really look up to my story when I talk about how I did sell drugs at one point in my life. And I had a criminal record for that. And I had to go through the process years later, almost 7 years later, to get those things expunged off of my criminal record so that I could have a clean slate and move on with life and not have to constantly have that over my shoulder in my past.
And there you have it. She was very forthcoming about her past and how she got to where she got to. You understand what I'm saying? And she wasn't ashamed of her past. I'm not telling her to be ashamed of her past. What I was ashamed of was the fact that this girl came out the gate lying, okay? She came out the gate lying and deceiving people. What made you think that she was not going to come out the gate lying and deceiving y'all? She openly admitted to lying to her husband and deceiving her husband. She has openly admitted to not knowing what she was doing. She was just posting results on Facebook because she was proud of herself. She openly admitted to that. She openly admitted to being a convicted felon who got her record expunged, and that's how she was able to move around more freely and do a lot of things more easily. Okay, she openly admitted that. She put it out there for y'all to see. You ran with this girl's story and you made her rich because you felt some type of way. You resonated with her in some type of way. You wanted to believe in her some type of way. You wanted this to be real. You wanted to believe in her. That's how these preachers and these pastors be getting y'all too at the church. Because notice it be the poorest, brokest people going to church, praying for God, praying that something happens to them better today. You know what I'm saying? Better for their children, better for their situation. They want something better. They want to feel good, want to do better in life. And she prayed on that. That's what she needs to be ashamed of. Okay, let's keep going because she isn't finished.
So Massengill Linden came from me helping so many people get into houses. People started messaging me who didn't know a lot about me. Like they would just stumble across my page and say, hey, can you help me buy a house? Trying to look for a realtor or something like that. Like I just kept getting these realtor messages. And I'm like, I'm not a realtor. I repair credit. Right. But they didn't know how I was getting people into houses. I just say congratulations to this person because I got in my house. And they didn't understand like the context of what I meant that. So I kept getting them and I was like, okay, God, I see what you did there. And so I said, I need to figure out a way where I can make AMPM a one-stop shop. So you come and you can get your credit repaired. If you can't afford to get your credit repaired by my company, you can get the book where you repair your own credit. And then once you finish that process, you can come back and we can help you get into a home now. So now it becomes a one-stop shop where you don't have to figure out, okay, I have to go here and do this and go there and do that. You can do everything under the same house.
So what's the name of your book?
First Class Credit.
And where is it? Where can we get it?
It's in Target stores. It's on Amazon. It's in Barnes and Nobles and a few other places.
So if you want to be able to repair your own credit, you get the book and then kind of follow the steps.
Yeah, so it's step by step in the book where I tell the story about how I found out I had bad credit. I had bad credit since I was 5 months old. Somebody had gotten a credit card in my name, didn't pay it, and it's just crazy. And so just show like the step-by-step process I took, learning how to read my credit report, how to read the errors, how to start building a positive credit, which is the one thing a lot of people really don't know about. They think their credit repair is just getting, these errors removed and the negative things, but nobody teaches you how to start building from there. Gotcha. And credit is a scary thing if nobody's telling you how to use it responsibly, how to build it responsibly. It's a scary thing that people shy away from.
So she is literally sitting on this platform telling y'all that she was born with bad credit. And I'm just going to be honest, a lot of this happens in the Black community and the Black families. They be putting apartments, credit cards, cable television in these children's names. And when they get 18, 19 years old, they want to get their own apartment, they want to get their own credit card or something like that. They can't get it because their credit is so fucking jacked up. It's so jacked up, and they like, wait a minute, how did my credit get jacked up? And I just became legal to do anything. Come to find out, your mama been putting light bills in your name, apartments in your name, phones and stuff like that in your name, and you didn't even know it. Okay, so that happens a lot in the Black community. Thank God that my mother didn't do that, because she has integrity and she is a very prideful person. She'd rather get it on her own. She ain't gonna ask her kids or nobody else for nothing. She gonna get it on her own. Okay, so that does happen in the Black community a lot, but I was not subject to that. So thank God. And she uses these tactics. She uses her sob story as being 5 months old, things being placed in her name. She didn't even know how to write a signature yet, and stuff is already being placed in her name. Then she has she was a convicted felon. She got that expunged, but she was a convicted felon, not because, she was living on hard times and she did something. The girl chose to sell drugs to get more money. She's always been money hungry. That's what she did. Okay, she went stealing because she was hungry, went stealing because she needed clothes or anything like that. She started selling drugs because she saw that lifestyle. She always wanted to have that rich and high mighty lifestyle. That was her goal the whole entire time. It's like she's telling you this in your face. She ain't lying to you about it, but y'all are looking at something else. I don't know what really attracted you to this woman after she came on many platforms, including her own, and told you that she had been lying to her husband. She had been selling drugs. She had been doing this and doing that. Like, she don't know nothing about credit repair. She's learning as she goes and makes this business with you all. She told y'all that, and y'all thought what? Like, what were you really thinking? You kept investing in this girl, just like with Krishan's sister. I keep telling y'all, it came out that Krishan's sister Chastity was scamming y'all, and y'all still continue to send stuff to that girl. Why? And then complain about getting scammed after we told y'all multiple times, countless times, that this is a scam. But you continue to give. Why? Stupid. That's what it is. Just stupid. All right, let's go on, because she got more to say.
So, and after that, we basically picked up the pieces. We moved and got our own apartment again. I think it was about 45 days after that. I started working shortly after that happened. So when we met, like I said, I didn't even have a job. So I started working again shortly after that. I ended up getting fired from that job 1 year later. And then after that, I started working at the post office, and then we moved here to Texas. And so when people talk to me all the time, that's one of the things they say, I have some evictions on my credit, don't judge me. I had some repossessions. And I'm like, I had repossessions, evictions, medical bills, cable bills. Like, I had a combo, the whole meal.
All you can eat buffet.
That's exactly what I say.
I created, but yes.
I say, I don't come with just baggage. I come with like a whole set of rollerblades.
The whole airport.
Absolutely. Yes.
And so that's a little bit of my backstory. My husband, he's been super supportive. I remember when I was going to fire my boss after I launched the company, and he was like, no. He was like, after a month. Wow. And I'm like, yeah, I'm telling you, I need to quit right now. I just have this feeling. And I had never said that to him before. So he was just like, no, you don't need to quit your job. So I quit my job and didn't tell him. Because, unfortunately, he found out when Facebook had found out. Oh, wow. Well, it was a little bit before that, maybe a couple of minutes before, but
wow.
But he was so adamant. He was like, no, this is crazy. And in my first month, my first 30 days, I made almost $10,000. I made $99.50. I had never in my life seen that kind of money that quickly. So I said, I need to quit right now because I just know this is it. And he was like, we need to make sure this is consistent. Like, he's the logical person. And I'm not the logical one sometimes. And so we just went back and forth, and I agreed, like, you know what, okay, I won't do it. And then a week later, I had quit my job. And I just stopped going to work, and I just kept focusing on my business. And one day, I didn't wake up for work, and he didn't go to work, and I didn't know he wasn't going to work that day. So he woke up and was like, like, you're not going to work today?
Wow.
And he always says I'm not a good liar, so I don't know what I said to him, and I guess it gave it away. And he was like, you can tell me the truth. Did you quit your job? And I thought he was going to be mad, and he was like, you know what? You've never put us in a bad situation before. I think he forgot about the eviction. He was like, you never put us in a bad position before, so I'm just going to trust you on this, and just went from there.
Wow.
So within 1 month of Ashley opening her credit repair business, she made $10,000, which prompted her to quit her job. And she continued to lie to her husband. You understand what I'm saying? She's admitting this to y'all. I'm just paraphrasing. But she admitted that she continued to lie to her husband until he caught her in her lie about her quitting her job, because he told her he did not want her to quit her job. But she seen how good this was going. She said, no, baby, I need to quit my job. Okay? This even gets messier. Let's continue to dig deeper, okay? So, as her business started to grow, Ashley started to put more of the business effect on to her business. She hired an IT and photographer person by the name of Patrick Tate, and they started doing some work together and also started crossing their professional life into their personal life, and they started fucking, okay? Patrick Tate actually went on Tasha K and confirmed the relationship and had some things to say about Ashley within the time that they were together, because Ashley cheated on her husband. She cheated on Paul with Patrick, okay? And Patrick was okay with the fact that Ashley was married to a whole nother man and still cheating and laying up with him. You cannot make this up. But I'm going to play these little clips and I'm going to come back with the rest of my commentary.
When we were together, I will say, like, I respect that everything that I saw was legit. We sat there and she opened enrollment, and I saw $1 million in 8 minutes.
This young man right here, ladies and gentlemen, is Patrick Tate, the IT guy and photographer that she hired to work on a part of her business, and then he started working her, if you know what I mean by when I say that, okay? So he literally telling y'all she ain't lying to y'all about her receipts. She's making money. But is she legitimately doing your work? Is it being done properly? I think not. Okay, because she didn't know what she was doing in the first place when she did it. So y'all trusted somebody who got up here and told y'all that they worked their own credit instead of y'all saying, oh, girl, what's the ways? I want to know the ways. And let her sell her little book or whatever. Y'all actually invested in this girl's business to help y'all repair y'all credit when that girl just came online and told y'all she didn't even really know what she was doing her damn self. She was just posting her results because she was just happy for once that she got some good credit because stuff happened to her when she was a baby. Like, everybody ain't got the same story. Some of y'all out here really just fucking y'all credit up for real and then trying to get a quick repair fix off of it. That's not how that works. That's not how any of this works.
Saying that she needed a tech person. That only lasted she only talked about business for about 3 weeks. She was married at the time, but she didn't care about none of that. I was living in Austin, Texas. She was living in Dallas. She wanted me to come to Dallas to beat her down. So me being me, I'm like, hey, I probably shouldn't have, mess with a married woman. But we were talking, she needed a tech person. She said, I got a couple of businesses. So we talking a lot, discussing a lot, and talking about the different things. That ain't like, I came to Dallas. We went to the Omni Hotel. I knocked the wig off. And then we got up, went, got food, got drinks, came back to the room. I knocked the wig off again after she put it back on. And then I sent it back to her the next day. So it's like, after that, she wasn't on no more business after that. Now she said that they were separated. They was, planning on going their separate ways. But
did that happen?
That didn't happen until probably like a half a year later.
So you heard that out of the horse's mouth. There go Ashley lying again. It's just all pinpointing and coming back to her. This is a whole big gigantic mess. Like he said, he had no business sleeping with a married woman, but she had no business complying to you. Also, sir, her vows were to her husband, not to you at that time. So I don't never fault the side pieces. I don't. Even if they know that y'all are married, I don't even fault them because, like, it's not their responsibility to hold the vow. It's you to your husband. Bitch, this is all you. You understand what I'm saying? So she cheating on her husband. She's scamming people out their money because, like I said, this was a big old scam. Okay? People started complaining and saying their credit reports weren't being established properly, like I said, because she didn't know what the fuck she was doing in the first place. So why in the hell would you even trust her to do it? Anyway, it's just crazy. You know what I'm saying? The more I go down this rabbit hole with this woman, I blame y'all too, because I'm like, y'all have a responsibility to yourselves to say, I'm going to take some of what she has done, actually see if that works for me and apply it to my life. Like I would have bought her do-it-yourself credit repair book. I would have done that, but actually invested in her to do it for me. Hell no, because she just said out loud that she didn't even know what she was doing. She didn't know. Y'all kept coming to her so much like she was a credit repair guru, kept coming to her so much that she actually banked off of y'all emotions and your feelings. She banked off of that and she scammed you. Because people started complaining, saying that things weren't done. She didn't do this and she didn't do that. And she wasn't trying to return your money. Well, she was threatening to report you to the credit bureau if your ass didn't continue to pay her or do what you were supposed to do with her. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? She scammed y'all so bad. But in the midst of it all, she was still thriving financially, banking $3 million, $4 million. She was still doing it, going on lavish, expensive trips. She was still doing that. She did eventually separate from Paul Massengill, as stated by Patrick Tate earlier. He ended up divorcing her ass when he found out that she was messing with that boy, okay? And her and Patrick Tate were on full time for a minute until she met her then husband, now husband, Joshua Grayson. Joshua Grayson is somewhat of the repair guru himself, okay? And just like how she did her husband, Paul Massengill, she started cheating on Patrick with Joshua, okay? But the thing is, she actually married Joshua. She actually married Joshua. But let's listen to Patrick and his story of how he found out that him and Joshua were messing with the same girl.
But see, that one said she was trying to be player and ended up getting caught up. So I didn't know about that man. And I think that's another reason why he don't like me, because while they over in Dubai, I didn't know nothing about anything. Okay. So I'm calling her, I'm calling her, and then I get on the phone with him, and he talking all tough like, nah, she made her choice. I said, bro, I didn't call to talk to you, so I'm gonna give you one chance. Put her on the phone. I didn't call to talk to you. He's like, nah, you ain't got nothing to say to my woman. I said, your woman, she just up yesterday, well, a couple days ago, and you kissing her right now. I said, the house that y'all in, I just beat her up in there just a couple days, but you with her right now. I said, so I don't know whatever understanding that y'all got going on, but I didn't call to talk to you. Now I tried to save your pride.
Ooh. Ooh, Patrick, you know you was wrong for that. You know you was. You know that. But go ahead and keep on talking. All right, keep on talking. Because she was trying to off you anyway, man. She was trying to unalive you anyway. Murder for hire you anyway. That's what she was finna do to you. Okay, and she didn't give two fucks about it. She didn't care at all. She wanted you out of here. So she ended up marrying Joshua Grayson, whom she does share a child with, because Ashley did get pregnant. And she had a baby. They waited until she had that baby, though, before they locked her ass up. But she did have a baby, thinking that was going to postpone her sentence and postpone her going to jail. No, your ass still going to prison. You know you was wrong for what you did. You know damn well you was wrong for what you did. And you're going to suffer the consequences for that. And I do believe that your husband need to go to jail too, Joshua Grayson. Your ass need to suffer the consequences, because I do believe that you had something to do with that. I know you wanted Patrick up on out of here. So we ain't finna front like you didn't have nothing to do with that. But somehow you have managed to escape the claws of prison.
Josh Beck. Josh Beck.
He's still gone.
Oh. Girl, no, we done already been through there. Through Derek house.
That fast?
It's gonna be real easy to get her. It's gonna be real easy. So that's what I was trying to see, like, with the money. Like, did you want us to come out there, like, tomorrow? Or, like, I'm trying to think of, like...
Well, when y'all gonna do the thing with Derek? Because Josh gonna try to come after y'all do it.
Oh, okay. So Josh didn't want to do the half and half.
He want to do it after it's done. But if y'all can get that done, like, the sooner y'all can get that done, like, the next week and a half, I'll do an extra $5 on there.
Cool. And, like, you don't want her hurt, and you just want her gone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, out of here. Okay. That will put my address out for over 100,000 people to see.
And you know, I was talking to Bernie about the Sherelle stuff. I was like, we just need her completely alone, because there's too many eyes on her. There's too many eyes on her.
Josh said that earlier. Josh said she got too many eyes on her now.
And then the TikTok thing, because I was like, damn, it's just her right now. But if something happened to her, this gonna be in front of everybody.
And then they're gonna be like, all of a sudden she was making all of these and blah blah blah. Josh said it this morning. He said there's too many eyes on that girl right now. I said, well, it's not gonna die down. And he was like, well, it's just too many eyes on that girl right now. He was like, we don't need to be involved in that. And he was like, unless they can get somebody else to do it. And then he was talking about you and Brandon too. And he was like, he think he got him a new friend or whatever with Brandon. And he was like, I didn't even know. He said Brandon said he already had the 2 felonies. So Josh was saying if he get one more, he gonna be gone. So he was like, you don't risk Brandon getting another felony and then he be gone for life, because that'd be his 3rd one. So he was like, he don't want none of us involved in it. And I said, you make me feel like a bad friend because I wasn't thinking it all that whole way.
Mine what?
I love my friend too. I just wasn't thinking it all the way through.
Mine, Josh thinking about everything.
You got a good point though. He was like, yeah, I'd rather be somebody we won't care about. Somebody like, we don't want nobody to do it that's gonna get locked up, but especially not nobody that we know personally or that we don't care. But then the thing about that, if you don't know them personally, then you can't trust them.
Okay, y'all just saw that, and that was Olivia Johnson's recording of Ashley Grayson commissioning her to unalive Patrick Tate, Derica Harrell, and Sherelle Hodge. So we know, kind of figure out why she wanted unalive Patrick Tate. That got something to do with her husband, Joshua Grayson, and I still believe that he needs to be in prison like she is for these crimes, because he did have something to do with that. But we know why they wanted Patrick Tate unalived. Who is Derica Harrell? Derica Harrell is Ashley's social opponent. She's also a credit repair guru type person herself. And she was one of the very first people on social media, right along with Sherelle Hodge, to call out Ashley for her unpractical business practices. Okay, she was telling Ashley, this don't seem right. She was calling it out on TikTok and shit. This don't seem right. You sure this is legal? Type things. That's what she was doing. That's what Derica was doing. And she has a big social media following. So she was bringing a lot of attention to Ashley doing that. And Ashley wanted her unalived. Now, Sherelle Hodge, who is a social media influencer, she actually bought into Ashley's program. And when Ashley's program didn't work and she was getting scammed out of her money, she decided to blast Ashley out on TikTok for her business practices, for her ill business practices. Let's get into it.
With your wife have been charged with account of racketeering and murder. And that's the first of many charges to come. Now, if y'all ain't seen this video, go to YouTube. You can start it all over from the beginning if you need to, because it's a deep rabbit hole. But now, to a lot of you people who still out here praising this woman, seeing people that was sitting there mocking the FBI right along with her, how do y'all feel? The same woman that tried to murder me in front of my children, Dr. Harwell in front of her children, and take Patrick Tate away from his daughter, but y'all still wanted to lick the shit that this lady was leaving? So let me make this clear. You created this bed by taking a video that you could have let pass over, because it's been, 6-7 months now? You could have let it pass over and been back on doing whatever you was doing or something else, yet it's still you decided that you wanted to sue me. In the midst of suing me, you paid to have someone come and take my life. You lost the lawsuit, called the FBI on yourself, had your hitman deliver all the information to the FBI, mocked the FBI and said that they weren't coming to get you and we was all making up lies, for them to go and file federal RICO charges on you 5 days ago. If y'all want to interview, hit the kid up. I'm ready to talk my shit.
I want you to know that all of this literally stemmed from social media. Sherelle Hodge, which is the lady that you saw before you, she just bought into Ashley's program, wanted to help repair her credit, and started it was a scam, started calling that on TikTok. Ashley wanted to unalive her. Then we're going to get into Miss Derica Harrell. She literally just called out Ashley's practices and said, you doing some messed up junk and you gonna get somebody messed up doing what you're doing. Are you scamming somebody? This is not how you're supposed to be doing things, and your business practices are kind of shaky. Because she went to her social media following and started telling what she saw about Ashley and bringing her up in a few pointers. Ashley wanted her unalived. So let's get into Mrs. Derica Howell's statement, and then I'm going to come back with the rest of my commentary.
One of the nights that we had the police officers in our home, and it was about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the a.m., and that's my life now. We were all in our dining room, and I literally sat there, and I heard my husband talking to the officer, and he said, my wife is about to see that I would die for her. And that hit me really hard because we're 36 years old. I've known him since I was 18. We've been together since we were 19 years old. And he's always been that way. He's always been that protector. And I would never want to lose my husband to something like this. But to hear him that ready and ready to fight and ready to go to war about his wife, about his family. He was ready, and he let police officers know. Like, it pierced me, it was just, I hated that we were even in this circumstance. So I'm trying my best to protect him as he is protecting me, and we are protecting our children together. Endured entirely too much. My family has endured entirely too much. So we will absolutely get the solution that will be 100% satisfaction to me, to my family, to my husband, and to the other victims that are involved.
Child, this was a mess. This was such a mess, and I am so sorry that all of y'all even had to go through this and experience this. All of this started over the internet. Literally, internet beef. That's all this was. Oh, God. Well, she has been sentenced to 10 years in prison for what she did. She got charged on RICO and murder for hire charges. I still think that Joshua Grayson needs to join her because I believe he had something to do with it. Point blank, period. That's what I believe. So I'm going to leave y'all with a few parting videos from Olivia Johnson and what she recorded from Ashley, what she recorded from Ashley Grayson. And then I'm going to leave y'all with a few parting words from Patrick, okay? I love y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in to another Auntie Be Knowing YouTube video. Y'all go ahead and hit that like button if you haven't done so so far. And subscribe to Auntie's channel because I know you're coming back. I'll see you soon, my babies. Bye.
If I could get somebody to do it right now for that nigga, and I know it wouldn't come back to us, like I would. Like if I could have outside of the country, Jamaica or something, that has somebody we got to tell, I would get it done tonight. But I would pay extra for that nigga because I paid $50, $60K to get that nigga out of here.
And I got like everybody. That was about Patrick, but yeah. Got the one about Sharia. I got the one about Derica. Mine, please. And I'm also going ahead and posting this, and I don't feel bad about it because you chose.
With her and Paul, and she went to that first court date, and that judge told her that Paul was looking at going away, walking away with $3 million. Or she came in the house going crazy. She came back to the house in Fort Worth that we was at going crazy, like, ain't no fucking way, he ain't gonna ever see that money. I'm gonna make sure I have some dude who was like a hitman in Dallas, Texas at the time. Like, I'm gonna make sure he did. I'm gonna call him, and I'm gonna make sure, like, as soon as he walk out the courtroom, I was like, hold on. Because at first I thought you were just talking out of anger, like I thought you pissed off, and I couldn't understand that. But you seriously talking, and she talking like dollar amounts and everything.